With only one scheduled candidates forum left before the convention, the 8 candidates vying for the GOP's nomination for the U.S. 6th District House of Representatives are hot on the campaign trail. Candidate Chaz Haywood has been holding small events up and down the 6th District. Dr. Douglas Wright has been airing a campaign ad on local radio telling his supporters, "You don't have to be a Republican to become a delegate at the convention." Candidates Michael Desjardins, Elliot Pope, Catherine Lewis, and Delegate Ben Klein have also been holding small gatherings up and down the 6th District to garner support. Harrisonburg lawyer and candidate Ed Justo has been in attack mode. His target, candidate Cynthia Dunbar. Cynthia Dunbar made several campaign stops in the Valley with this man, Rafael Cruz. Cruz is the father of U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who has endorsed Dunbar in this race. Ms. Dunbar has also been endorsed by former U.S. Representative Ron Paul. Justo attacked both Cruz and Dunbar for their joint tour.
But it doesn't surprise me that he's communist, and it doesn't surprise me that he's with Dunbar, because Dunbar is also promoting a communist agenda with her commentary, with the story of saying that we have to remove the tyrants in Congress, we have to remove the power of the executive branch, we have to alter the Constitution, and we have to remove, which it did in the last forum, remove Article 3 of the Constitution, so we remove the judicial power. What she wants is a government that is controlled by a religious elite that will be operating in Congress, which is her. So doesn't surprise me that Comrade Dunbar is driving around with Mr. Cruz.
I told Rafael Cruz about Justo's attacks on him and reminded him that Donald Trump once said this.
All I did is point out the fact that on the cover of the National Enquirer, there was a picture of him and crazy Lee Harvey Oswald having breakfast. Now, Ted never denied that it was his father. Instead, he said, Donald Trump, I had nothing to do with it. This was a magazine that, frankly, in many respects, should be very respected.
Here is Mr. Cruz's response to the allegations.
I left Cuba 60 years ago, over 60 years ago. I was a high school kid in Cuba, was involved in a revolution. And actually there was a young leader that called himself a freedom party. His name was Fidel Castro. And I, like many kids, were duped by him. And as a result of my being in the revolution, I was captured and imprisoned and tortured. But by the grace of God, I was able to come to the United States on a student visa. And then when Castro took over, I went back to Cuba. And I was shocked, because then all of a sudden I realized that this guy was a communist. And I was only there 3 weeks. And I came back to America, never to live again. And I am a proud American citizen, and I'm a constitutional conservative, and have opposed everything that the Castro regime has done ever since.
At that same event, I spoke to Ms. Dunbar, and she told me why she's in this race.
I'm not going to just do lip service and make promises and not follow through, but I'm actually going to go up and fight to preserve our constitutional republic. I have a history of successes, and so I've earned the respect of a lot of people that I greatly respect, and I hope to do the same as I go forward.
When asked about Justo's attacks, Dunbar implied that she is leading this race, and that is why she is being attacked.
First of all, when you're in a kind of political race, it's actually a really good sign when you're the one that's being attacked by your opponents. When you're in the lead, you have to be attacked. When you're behind, you don't get attacked so much. So I actually am really flattered that Mr. Justo is attacking my campaign. But he also has attacked me for different things. I think he was talking about the fact of trying to take power away from the people by giving it to Article 1 in the Congress instead of allowing it to be in Article 2. And, you know, we actually just have a very different opinion. I actually align with the Republican Party platform and a belief in the constitutional republic and limited government, and that the greatest control is when you give it to the people. Article 1 gives it to Congress, where they are directly accountable to the people. Whereas if you have an unelected bureaucratic agency in the federal government, I don't think you have to explain to too many people. You have about zero accountability there.
Justo offered plenty of rebuttal to Mr. Cruz's claims that he didn't know Castro was a communist until after the revolution.
When the Cruz guy says that he has no idea, he didn't know that Castro was a communist, a Marxist, he's lying. Everybody in Cuba knew since the mid-40s that Castro started fighting the president. because he wanted to install communism. And when he joined Castro in 1953 and started doing things there, he knew he was communist as well. So that story that he didn't know he was communist is all made up.
The attacks on Dunbar from Justo did not stop there. After a forum at Liberty University last week, Justo posted this video to his campaign's Facebook page, accusing Cynthia Dunbar of using artificial intelligence-based software to answer questions at the forum.
Hi, I'm Ed Justo, a candidate that during the last 3 forums, by coincidence, ended up sitting next to Ms. Dunbar. During the forums, I noticed that the computer in front of her operated by itself, writing in what seemed to be a word program and highlighting parts of those paragraphs written. Curious, I started to review and read what the computer was writing. This was easy. The computer was right next to me and at visual range. I was appalled at what I saw. The computer was providing the answers to the questions. Based on what I saw, you can infer that the answers she has given you are not answers she thought herself, like the other candidates, but answers provided to her to give to you by likely a marketing specialist, a Mac answer. I invite you to be more open to listening, but be wary of what you hear. It seems the words coming out of her mouth are not worth the air they are uttered in, because they are not hers. They are those of a ghost writer. Thank you for your attention.
This morning, we reached out to the Dunbar campaign about this claim made by Justo. The Dunbar campaign responded quickly through a phone interview with the campaign's political director, Matt Tiedrich. Tiedrich is also the vice chairman of the 6th District GOP committee.
That's the height of absurdity, and it's a complete fabrication, and it just demonstrates how morally bankrupt people are that would make such an assertion.
Tiedrich said as for Justo, he's in this race for one reason, and that's to tarnish the reputation of Cynthia Dunbar.
So this is, Ed Justo making this absurd claim is just par for the course. Ed is doing his job. He's doing what he was brought into the campaign to do, which is to smear Cynthia Dunbar. You should ask Ed Justo how many delegates he filed in Warren County. The filing deadline has passed. It was on Friday. Monday, the Waynesboro deadline passed. Ask Ed Justo how many delegates he filed for his candidacy in Waynesboro. And the answer is 0.
Candidates Ed Justo and Catherine Lewis will be speaking at the Roanoke Tea Party's meeting on Thursday, March 1st at 6:30 p.m. In the Breaking Through newsroom, Theo Whitelow for Breaking Through.